Actually, Gerald M. Post is forgetting that it's two nephews. One of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's nephews, and cousin to Ramzi, Ammar al-Baluchi, aka Ali Abdul Aziz, was arrested in Pakistan in 2003, also linked to being a bin Laden bagman who funneled over $100,000 to ringleader Mohammed Atta. According to Wikipedia and mainstream sources, it's not known whether KSM was born on March 1, 1964 or April 14, 1965, or whether he was born in Baluchistan, Pakistan, or even Kuwait City, Kuwait, as BBC News has reported. He's fluent in Arabic, English, Urdu, and Baluchi, and is also believed to belong to the Baluch ethnic group. Baluch are mainly northwestern Iranians. Ramzi Youssef has described himself as an Iraqi, as a Kuwaiti national, and as a Baluchi from Pakistan. What could all this mean? According to Israeli journalist Yossi Melman, who wrote in 1998 in Haaretz, and later in a book called Spies Against Armageddon, Inside Israel's Secret Wars, that since the 1950s, Shin Bet, Israel's FBI, is known to have put agents in Arab sectors mixing in with Arabs and creating families. Their bosses called them Mista Aravim, which in Hebrew basically means Arab masquerader or masquerading as Arabs. They are commonly known as Arab platoons. Now some of you may ask, how could Israeli Jews mix into Arab areas without other Arabs or Muslims noticing? As most Americans are unaware, other than white European Jews in Israel, Israel's population also consists of Arab Jews, who are dark-skinned and without fail, are treated as a minority. Unlike European and Ashkenazi Jews who harbor Israel, Arab Jews are either generations from Palestine or other neighboring Middle Eastern and African countries prior to the 1948 formation of Israel. And because it's compulsory for Israeli citizens to serve in the military, Arab Jews do work within Israeli intelligence. This is the advantage of how Israel has perfected toppling infiltrating neighboring Muslim and Arab nations. Don't think so? How do you think Israel has been able to topple over Egypt so many times? Check out the Lavon Affair, aka Operation Susanna, on Wikipedia. A formerly secret CIA assessment, Israel's Foreign Intelligence and Security Services, from March 1979 reported that it had been a long-standing policy for Israeli intelligence to disguise Jews as Arabs. One of the established goals of intelligence and security services is that each officer be fluent in Arabic. A 9-month intensive Arabic language course is given annually to students. The Assignment, a 1997 Hollywood-made movie on the CIA Mossad hunt for infamous most wanted terrorist Carlos the Jackal starring Ben Kingsley and Aidan Quinn, demonstrates a prime example of how Mr. Aravim are able to function.
Listen to me, you piece of shit! I'm trying very hard to be professional about this, but you are in Israeli hands now, so don't play games with me. Entiende, hombre?
Israeli hands? What? You're telling me you're Israelis? Not Arabs?
Other than the false identities of 9/11 hijackers, as well as other wanted radical Islamic terrorists or events that have been blamed by such, this revelation in mind may lead one to speculate that this Israeli advantage makes it impossible to detect who is really an authentic Muslim. One could say almost like a multi-Semitic advantage. I mean, why else would an Egyptian like El Said Nusser, who clearly looks like an Arab or Muslim, have been able to attend an exclusive event and mix into the audience to assassinate Meir Kahane? World-renowned novelist and historian best known for espionage and military expertise as well as storylines, Tom Clancy wrote in his book Ops Center Acts of War that Mr. Aravim, Arab masqueraders, do not allow their real identities to become known to people outside their unit, and that even when they are undercover, they go to great lengths to avoid being recorded. A made-for-TV miniseries based on Clancy's book depicts such possible examples,
including the name of Stolypin's paymaster, Abdul Fazawi. You recognize the name?
Yeah, renegade arms trader, recruited by Mossad in 83.
He's your man?
We train many Arabs.
10 times more Israeli Arabs are joining Israel's army than 3 years ago. Some who swear the oath of allegiance are suffering the consequences.
طبعا تعرضت لكثير انتقادات قالوا لي انه انا خاينه انه انا عميله صهيونيه.
So why are their fellow Arabs joining the Israeli Defense Force? Some say it's for personal financial gain.
Spies Against Armageddon is the new book that takes a closer look inside the matter. Dan Raviv co-wrote the book. There have been recent news stories that we've talked about, those assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists Can you say with all certainty that this group is behind those assassinations?
I do feel certain. I have co-authored this book with Yossi Melman, who's one of the leading Israeli journalists. We did a book even 22 years ago, Terrell, called Every Spy a Prince. And so we've kept our contacts, and we think we understand what Israeli intelligence does and why it does it. So one move that's right out of the Mossad's playbook is to infiltrate some of its own operatives, Israelis, into Iran. They have ways of getting in, and we say that they assassinated at least 4 Iranian nuclear scientists.
And that's the question there. You wonder, how can an Israeli assassin get into the borders of Iran? How do these missions happen?
Well, no one's telling us exactly how they've been doing it in Iran, because that's very current. But we did get the history of how the Mossad, Israeli intelligence, has done it in other enemy countries, in Egypt, in Syria, in Lebanon. And so there's a special unit of the Mossad, almost like a Mossad within the Mossad.
Indeed, a Mossad within the Mossad, or a Mossad within what they've deemed as Al-Qaeda, because it turns out that these Mossad assassinations of Iranian nuclear scientists around this time and a couple of years later was all in collusion with the Iranian MEK, an organization still considered a terrorist group and cult, which nearly 20 years earlier colluded with Ramzi Youssef in the Imam Riza Shrine bombing in Mashhad, Iran.